is going to interest you very much because you can win something. I'm going to talk about two things real quick. The first one is that I am creating a Patreon finally. If I have it by the time I upload this video, then I will put it in the description below. You will see if you could look at it, look at the rewards, blah, blah, blah. And then the YouTube content, I know some people are worried that it becomes like a one-on-one thing as a Patreon gets established. You'll read all about that on the Patreon page, so I'm not going to go into it. The second thing, whoa, the sun's coming out. I hope you're like getting that stuff. The second thing I want to talk about is the giveaway. As a thank you for all of you who are here with me in my domain, dwelling with me, chilling with me, I want to do a giveaway. This is basically a thank you for reaching 1,000 subscribers. By the time I upload this, I already almost have 1,200 subscribers. It is amazing. It makes me happy. And it is always great to see that so many people are interested in my content. So I will give back to you by giving away a bulk orator tarot deck. The winner can choose which one they want. Great, isn't it? Great, 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 great. I know a lot of us are doing it desperate now, but that shouldn't stop us from winning things. And if you really don't want a physical thing and you win this giveaway, let me know and we will figure something out.
I've got two people on now. Anyone want to introduce themselves?
All of these things can happen if you say, I don't want to tarot deck, I want to dive deeper with my psyche. All of the information on how you can participate in the giveaway, I will put in the first comment on my video, so that I don't have to talk about this for 5 minutes and bore you. Now that we have those two things covered, let us get into the meat of this video. The meat and bones of this video, the vegetables of this video. And honestly, I don't have anything planned. I have a rough idea, which is to talk about the 3 big signs that dominate my birth chart. I think in January there was this challenge. One of the day's challenges is to talk about morality. And for me personally, they definitely have brought merit my exploration and my self-discovery. What I want with this video is not to brag to talk about how
I found a sweet spot on the kitchen, on the power strip over the kitchen counter that I can kind of tell the extra long cord from. I mean, it's not great, but it will hopefully keep enough charge on the phone. Hello, is that Siska?
Your sun sign will be very dominant, or it might be kind of suppressed.
Seriously?
You probably heard me talk a lot about shadow work and about how the things that we are taught as
not a whole lot right now. I've been having another stressful day, and I have been turning it inward because that's just sometimes how I roll after counting kindergarten, 6 years of Catholic school, after which my father remarried and moved to an area that had no Catholic school. And where did the picture go? It's right here under my makeup bag. So I'm still working on this one. It's the one that mocks me and plots against me, and okay, good. Okay, none of the pieces look like they've gotten moved around too terribly since last time. Possible. I don't know. I've got this nonsense going on at the dental school right now, and right now the most stressful thing about that, I mean, thankfully, in terms of high versus low stress points I've been at with getting any kind of dental work done in general, this is one of the lower stress things that could be happening right now, but then what? Basically, I am having the damnedest time trying to get an appointment, and that's all I need right now. And there are people who are supposed to call me, ideally today, which never happened. And of course, thanks to wonderful Irish Catholic upbringing, this is somehow all my fault, and no good will ever come back of it. I've destroyed everything. Everything is broken. Everything is dead. And that is just life, isn't it? Is this? No, of course that doesn't go there. That would be silly. Wait. I have barely eaten today out of stress. That just seems to be one of my stress reactions, and I know it's not healthy, and my doctors all know that it's not healthy, and they know that I do this. I mean, thankfully, to some extent anyway, I have never been clinically anorectic. I've never had an issue with it psychologically, of course, which is why I make the distinction of clinically anorectic, but oh yay, Amy Necrotique is on here and made it. I know you were a little bummed that you missed the last stream I had. I can't read anybody's names because of the contrast level between the shades of gray that YouTube throws at me. So if I don't recognize your, or at least what your little avatar picture is kind of looks like from this distance, just after learning it this last few streams, I might not be able to. Okay, somebody, I think, yeah, it looks like a Siska from earlier. Sorry to hear you've had a hard day. Yeah, like I literally did not get anything done today. And the one thing that I tried to get done before the stream, because I just wanted to do something before the stream, just something to make me feel like I have not completely wasted the day waiting for the dental school to call me back when they did not. What did I do? I tried to replace the power supply in my desktop computer so that my show can go off hiatus, and it does not fit my computer. This is supposed to be the smaller one, that the smaller spare working computer power supply that my what's it called, my station manager offered me for pretty much the cost of shipping, which is fine. He says this is the smaller one and it is too big for my computer. And so, like, there's nothing I have any control over today as far as stress goes. There's nothing I can do about anything. Everything is dead. Everything is dying. It's all going to shit, and it's all my fault, and that's just life. And where does this piece go? Does it go here? No, it does not. It doesn't go there either. It might go. No, it's too yellow to go there. Doesn't go there. Okay, this is a piece that exists to mock me. Maybe? Yeah, it does. It exists to mock me. I'll figure it out. This doesn't go here either. What the shit? There are these pieces that don't go anywhere. This one might go here. No, of course not. That might make some oh, it goes there. Okay. And so yeah, like I literally did nothing today. I was waiting for the dental school to call me back, and that never happened. And by the time I realized, oh shit, I've got half an hour before the scheduled stream, and I don't want to just cancel on that for no particular reason. I tried to fix the computer, and that is out of my control. I cannot fix this computer. I just can't. It can't be done. At least not with anything that I have at home. And so let's see. Argyle dinosaur. They say, you know, I wasn't raised Irish Catholic, but that sounds like my reaction to most things. Oh yeah, it's not especially unique to my dad's side of the family. It's just one seems to be one of those things that's especially common amongst that side of the family. Someone says, hi, Ruadhán, greetings from England. Hi, greetings from wonderful Ypsilanti, Michigan. Lucifer's here, and really, that's what's important. Yay! Yes, Amy, still working on the puzzle. Yes, Lucifer, and it's still plotting against me. Simon, so why are you so blunt and direct, but let's see, I do answer questions, but yeah, I lived in Los Angeles some years ago, and then, let's see, the easiest version of that story is I had one of the worst weekends, and due to anxieties that I was able to mask a little better than I've been able to as I age, I ended up back in Michigan because it felt vaguely safe. I mean, just long story short, it's not an especially fun story, or even a halfway entertaining one. It's just sometimes we panic and things don't work out, and of course, being in Michigan, I have significantly less income via Social Security disability, so saving up to do anything is nigh impossible. Where does this one go? Wait, does it? No, that one's already up there. This one goes somewhere. No. Fuck. Oh, I think. Yay. I got a piece in a spot. Okay. What now? That represents what's inside of me. And I feel that that is related to Scorpio as well. Because Scorpios, as you know, shed their skin. That is why Scorpio as a zodiac sign is often associated with transformation and with change as well as. Okay, let's see. We've got the doorman guy. He's generally together. I can relate that back to my Scorpio mood if I want to really try and Okay. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. What now? Give me. Amy says, I love Detroit. I've only been there once, but I love. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. If you drive, you should come pick me up on your way. At least I'm under the impression that you're in Ohio. So you'd pass through or by the Ann Arbor, Ipsy area. Watching videos about Detroit makes me so sad. Oh, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of a zombie apocalypse waiting to happen. I know a few years ago, Detroit had run out of the emergency funding to bury the dead whose families, if they can be found, can't afford burial services. And I mentioned to a friend of mine when that was like in the news, I'm like, wait a second, isn't this how Returning Dead happened, or something very similar to that movie? Seriously, why doesn't it go there? It looks like it should. Currently living. Oh, Richmond, Virginia. Okay. Well, that's a good healthy drive. I would definitely rather take a Greyhound or the Amtrak. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, wait. Wait, no, I think the original Day of the Dead wasn't Dawn of the Dead. The one at the shopping mall. I feel like I should like George A. Romero more than I do, and I don't mean that in a similar way to how I sometimes feel like I, quote unquote, should like David Lynch at least as much as some of my friends like David Lynch. Because Romero actually does some really good movies, and it's really interesting the way he takes the ghoul archetype from various traditions of fiction and it puts this social commentary spin on it. But I like that. I appreciate when he does that, but I don't know. I just can't get especially into his work, and I feel kind of bad for it. I mean, he does it well. I feel like, why don't I like this as much as I ought to? Like, there's so much about this I should like, but I just can't get into it. Which is how I felt about Joy Division for years. And then I got into The Fall, and after I got into The Fall, I kind of understood what Joy Division was doing, only I think The Fall did it better. Papa bless. Somebody put in some emoji I can't read from this distance. Show the puzzle image. So that would be this one. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead was the shopping mall one. Yep. Okay. I think they were incinerating bodies and the fumes went into the rain. Oh yeah, that was Return of the Living Dead. I don't know if I've seen anything by David Lynch besides Eraserhead, but oh my god, Eraserhead. It makes me irrationally angry. Well, yeah, one of the things that I hate the most about Eraserhead, aside from the fact that the hype that so many people make over it kind of killed it for me. Like, I probably could have enjoyed Blair Witch Project at least the once I saw it. The one time I saw it. I've only ever seen it once, and that's okay. That's all you really need to see the Blair Witch Project is once. But the thing about that is that the hype just killed it for me, and I couldn't get into it because I I waited until it came out onto video, which at the time was VHS. Watching it, and I'm like, that was it. We're looking up somebody's nose for 10 minutes, and then hijinks ensue, and I couldn't suspend my disbelief that about these characters that are supposed to be film students but don't understand the first thing about filming a documentary, and I don't know, it would have been exciting to me if I hadn't seen so much hype first. Like maybe if I'd gone and seen it at the theater with that before too much had been said about it, I could have gotten into it and not looked at everything that is wrong with it. And plus, there's a fact it gets so much unjust credit about allegedly inventing the found footage genre, which they absolutely did not do. The major innovative thing that Blair Witch did as far as movies go was marketing. Like that was one of the first major films, especially the first one to get as big as it did, that utilized the internet for marketing it, and that deserves maybe a little bit more credit than people acknowledge anymore, because it was so far from a found footage kind of thing. Like, I mean, Faces of Death, who, anybody? Maybe that's just an old person thing at this point. But yeah, something there was a whole lot of thing. There was a thing in the late 90s when they would do those Faces of Death packages, and then somebody did something on, I don't know, I think it was a television special. Somebody was explaining about how at least half of the footage from the second Faces of Death film onward was all staged. But yeah, like, so the hype around Eraserhead, I might have been appreciate what he was doing with it if it had not been for all of that. But the whole, then there's the whole thing about how he insists that he went into making that with no real plan, and even though people have pulled up pretty much all the evidence necessary to show that no, this was made while his I think girlfriend at the time, or was it fiance, like in the movie, but basically like first baby, and he's having an existential crisis, and people have pointed this out, but he still likes to BS people and say, oh no, it's about whatever the viewer wants it to be about. And I'm like, shut your trap, David Lynch. Everybody knows that this was your first baby, and you were thinking too much about it, and just be honest for once about this fucking movie. But the floor, but all of the boxes are unopened and nothing fell into the cat fountain, so I'm gonna mumble at this for a little bit before I go pick them up. Don't. Oh God, Lost Highway pissed me the hell off when I saw it, and it is. And I've got a friend who obviously wants to make me question my choice in friends. I love Charles. I do. He's great. He's a great friend. I question his tastes sometimes because of how much he loves David Lynch. Like, he's not one of those people who believes Lynch can do no wrong. I mean, thankfully, he's not that bad. But then what happened is I think I might need to pull more pieces out of the box. But then what happened? Charles David Lynch. So Charles said that the way to really appreciate Lost Highway is, and I gotta get up for potatoes. So apparently the way that Charles says to really appreciate Lost Highway is to watch it 3 times. And on one hand, I want to tell him
he was now obligated to seek the counsel of his barons on matters relating to the governing of the kingdom. As the pressure began to mount on his father, Edward remained loyal to his friends, the Roussillons, and took a stance in opposition to the provisions of Arbor. But as the reform movement grew in intensity, his position shifted. On October 1259, he announced that he was supportive of the goals of the barons and aligned himself with his father's rival, Simon de Montfort.
of course.
King Henry embarked on a voyage to France.
So according to Charles, the way to really appreciate Lost Highway for some reason is to watch it 3 times. That the first time he had no idea what the hell he was watching. So because he likes David Lynch, he gave it another chance. The second time he watched it, he got to the point where, okay, I can kind of see this and why he's doing it, but I can kind of see what he's doing, but I'm still asking why. And on the third viewing, that's when it all came together, and I say to him, well, you may indeed be right, Charles, but I'm not going to subject myself to that movie 2 more times, at least. Lucifer says to Amy, I'm gonna Google it, I'll be back with first impressions. Somebody says, Blair Witch Project made me so nauseous from the shaky footage that I had to watch it in 2 sittings so I wouldn't throw up. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't have that effect on me. I get vertigo watching friends play first-person shooters to the point where I have no interest in watching them or playing those kinds of games myself. Argyle Dinosaur says, it sounds cool. I'll have to watch the trailer later. Amy. Once is enough. Oh, God, yeah. Bats. Yeah, once is plenty enough for... Seriously, these are still only half done? Why?
In the wake of a series of smaller victories, Edward's army met up with the forces of de Montfort at the Battle of Luz on May the 14th.
Son of a bitch, that one's still half raw. What the fuck? I'm doing the temperature it recommends, I did the time it recommends. Why aren't these cooking? I'm literally not done. This is... I could put them back in the oven and set the timer again. I could get down my steam pot where I know they'll cook because I've done fingerlings like that before. Ladder.
Such actions were strictly against the protocol of war, which stipulated that nobles were to be treated humanely. However, they would consider them to be a traitor and beyond the rules of conduct.
The embroidery is going... it's okay. I'm kind of just winging it at this point. It's, I've pulled that, like, I don't know, I keep changing the, what exactly I want to do with it. Like, I've got some stuff down that I know I want to keep that way. So now I'm at a point where I'm pulling seams and redrawing things because I decided I wanted to do it differently. So yeah, I'm gonna try putting these back in the oven because this is insane.
After crossing the Channel and in the Mediterranean, they arrived at North Syria and only to discover the French king was dead.
Excuse me, cat.
Of a fatal bout of dysentery.
Excuse me.
He was now the leader of the Allied forces. He chose to withdraw to Sicily. However, en route, a severe storm decimated the fleet and the French contingent decided to return home. Rather than following the French example, they decided to forge ahead. He landed at Acre on May the 9th, 1271. The Christian Empire in the Holy Land was under serious threat from Muslim states, with Jerusalem already having fallen in 1244. The Egyptian Mamluks were now threatening to take Acre, which served as the Christian capital. With a relatively small force of men, there was little that we could do to stem the tide of Muslim aggression. Warrior King
There's no reason I'm dressed up tonight. I just was kind of hoping that it would cheer me up a little bit after all the shit with the dental school. Yeah, it is. It really is. And like there's almost nothing in my for all practical purposes, there's nothing in my control today. There's nothing I can do about anything. And this is just one of those days that clearly exists to drive me insane. And let's see.
In the wake of the foiled assassination,
I'm
they left the Holy Land. Upon sailing to Sicily, Edward was
going
his father,
to.
the king, had died. Edward had been weakened by the poison attack, and so now his king.
Okay, that doesn't go there. That would be silly.
Allegedly tripped home. The situation was pretty stable, so he didn't really see a need to rush back. Edward made his way home through Italy and then on to France, crossing the Channel
where do
in early August of 1274.
Oh wait, I think is this maybe a tire? Well,
1274 at Westminster Abbey. When the crown was
it
placed
might
upon
be.
his head, a chronicler
Okay, I'm going to work on. Oh right, more pieces.
lost during the kingship of his father was returned.
Okay. I think now is the time to try and move on to other signage in this one, maybe.
Enjoyed the roughest and most dangerous forms of hunting, such as going after boars and wolves. As a younger man, he was prone to flying off the handle, but age had restrained his temper. By the time he ascended to the throne,
I really like my current therapist, but the thing that drives me kind of nuts about her, unlike my last one, who I only really stopped seeing Julia because she moved to a different office and she had really good reasons for wanting to move offices. But she what? What's that word? There's a word for it. Her new office is right off the bus route, so there is no way I can continue to see her because here's how far off the bus route her current office is. I would get off at I would take 2 buses, and then I would end up having to walk at least 1.5 miles. And I mean, it's not that I couldn't stand the walk, but when we're talking about year-round therapy sessions, even only going once or twice a month, that's also going to include the harsh winter months of Southeast Michigan, and my back is not up for that. So I did find somebody she recommended who I really like, but there's something about her that drives me nuts, and that's the fact that she has had to reschedule more appointments than I have, which just, I don't know. I'd like to think that she has organizational skills than that, being the professional in the situation, but I suppose not. So it kind of drives me nuts. On the other hand, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that thought. Now vacant title of Prince of Wales on the child, and since that time, the heir to the British throne has been given that title in the ceremony that is held at Carnarvon Castle. When it came to foreign relations, Edward did his best to maintain peaceful relations with his European counterparts. Despite the fact that Philip III was this goes nowhere then. Nowhere right now. Okay, I'm gonna try to work on some of these. What are they called? Okay, we've got the 2 jazz club signs.
In 1287, Edward took the cross for the second
So
time,
I'll
attempting to stage
separate
a
out
crusade to retake the Holy Land from
as
Muslims.
much of
But
the
success
black
in
ones
this
as I
enterprise
can,
depended on the
and
association
go
together
from
of a
there.
truly
What is this? This looks like a
international
feather on
alliance.
somebody's
Towards that end, he
cap of
extended much
sorts.
effort
Where does
trying
it
to
go?
preserve peace
Why
among the
can't I
powers.
tell?
Edward's long absence from London had thrown the government into confusion
Okay.
and chaos. He returned to discover that corruption was rife and was forced in disgust to expel many of his judges.
This is why I could use one of those little sets of puzzle sorting trays. That would be really nice, but
She was just 48 years of age and spent 35 of them at Edward's side. The king was distraught at the loss of his wife. He became a hardened man in the wake of her loss, more bitter and brooding in nature. Edward's campaign against the Welsh had imposed huge financial burdens upon his nation. Taxes were the main way to
no, that
increase
doesn't go
expenses,
there.
and
Why am I
private
even
sources
trying
of
that? That
taxation were the
looks
Jews'
ridiculous.
Edward taxed the Jews far more heavily than
Dun,
ever.
dun,
In
dun, dun.
1279, he ordered the arrest of all the heads of Jewish households throughout the country. About 300 of them were put to death. The following year, all Jews
God
were
damn,
ordered
is
to
this...
attend special sermons preached by Dominican friars in order to convert them to Christianity.
Oh god,
Then, in
how long does
1290,
this...
Edward issued the
embroidery...
by which
Is this
all
going to be one of
Jews
those
stopped without
days?
maintenance.
Says
It
Amy.
wasn't
Oh,
until
yeah, I did make my nose
England
chain. I make these. They're, Oh... Oh, Simon, you poor child.
Attention was focused on troubles in Scotland. Following the death of Alexander III in 1286, Scotland was governed in the name of his granddaughter, Margaret. King Edward had made his eldest surviving son.
Someone says that Amy Necker
united in marriage, bringing about the union of England and Scotland. Before this could happen, though, Margaret
Yeah,
died.
who did
Scotland's
what?
throne was now at dispute.
Okay.
With a number of claimants, the English king was asked to play the role of arbitrator.
Damn right no one cares.
In 1292, he awarded the French
someone...
crown as the
hey everyone, good evening. Good evening!
the Scottish people to resent the jurisdictional control that Edward held over their country. John was deprived of all his power, and the Scots formed an alliance with France. By this time, England's relations with the French had deteriorated.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, like I said, I just felt like maybe if I did put my face on and made a modicum of effort to nice tonight, it might help my mood. Not a whole lot, but nah, it's not a whole lot is better than not at all. Yeah, seriously, old news. That video was 3 weeks ago. Like, move on. Let's see. I think that says Ladybug. Hello. Oh yeah, that was a great video. I was entertained by it myself. Somewhere the nose chain looks a bit low. I kind of like them a bit lower. Yeah, a lot of people wear them just like a few links shorter, but I like mine low. I don't know. I know people are gonna have their own preferences on these things, but
after conquering the Scots, Edward returned south. He now had to focus on issues with the French. However, the masses in Scotland were not ready to subject themselves to the heel of Edward Longshanks. Resistance grew under three in the southwest, while the Bruce emerged as the
oh, of course that doesn't fit there. That looks ridiculous.
Northeast, the struggle was spearheaded by Andrew Murray, and in the center of the country,
maybe this one goes. Oh yes, okay. So I found a little bit more of the jazz trombonist, and that doesn't go there. I'm being ridiculous again. Okay.
With the situation reaching a crisis point, Edward was forced to send his lieutenants in to deal with the situation. Meanwhile, he had his own battle to fight in Flanders, in France. Even though he didn't want his conquest of Scotland to unravel, he also knew that abandoning planned French invasion would only strengthen the rebels' hand. As things turned out, the British underestimated the strength of the Scottish resistance. What appeared to be a Scottish
necromancy. I'm really interested in your books, so maybe you could do a top 10.
Wallace managed to
Favorite
crush
book
the
thing.
English
Oh,
from
I do need to do one of those.
Stirling Bridge. The English outnumbered
Let's
the
see.
Scots
Amy,
6-1.
when my nostril was
First
pierced, I
vanguard,
would connect the
impressive
chain
was
to the
repeatedly struck
top of
down
my
by
ear
Wallace
instead of the
himself,
lobe,
thousands
otherwise it would
fled. Wallace went on to exploit the terrain
get all in
and
my
maneuver
lipstick.
the British to win
Someone,
a
did you?
resounding victory.
I do sometimes. I make them to order. They're on my shop. The link. I hope I remembered to put a link in the description. My shop's on Artfire, so yeah, it'll be there. If you see an Artfire link, obviously. If I was a dumbass who forgot to put in an Artfire link where I should have, it is in other videos.
When intelligence was received that Wallace and his network stationed at Falkirk, about 20 miles away. The king immediately set his army in the direction of Falkirk.
Anyway,
They were surprised
please stop separating.
In the end,
Goddamn pieces.
English infantry and cavalry assaults was too much for the Scottish army, and they were torn to pieces. Wallace managed to escape and led pockets of resistance for the next 7 years. For the English, they were able to re-establish dominance over Scotland. In 1305, William Wallace was
Kitty?
captured by the English. He was taken to London, where he was hung, drawn, and quartered.
Where now have I ever not fed you?
The Scottish problem forever. In 1306, Robert the Bruce assassinated a rival for the throne, which had been vacant for 10 years. He then had himself crowned King of Scotland. He was quickly defeated.
I know he's cute, but sometimes. Necromancy, what was your first concert ever, and what was your favorite concert you attended and why? Let's see. I know, let's see, if we're, depending on how we want to stretch the definition of first concert, my mother went to go see Ozzy Osbourne when I was in utero, but I have absolutely no memories of that. So we go on to a definition that actually makes some kind of sense in the real world. And I would, let's see, so first one that I have any actual memories of, where I was not drinking. Or, at least where I can explain my lack of memories by not yet drinking. Let's see. There was a few that summer. I think... I can't remember if it was The Wrong Christian Death or if it was Rosetta Stone. It was one of the summers I was staying with my sister and brother-in-law in London. So it was either, I can't remember if it was The Wrong Christian Death or Rosetta Stone. It was one of those two, and I know it was very close that summer. As far as favorite concert, first I ask, how are we defining favorite? Favorite mood, favorite ambiance, just in general? Another tough call, but if pressured, like apparently you all are doing to me, just to start all the dramas like our friend Simon here, who might be back, who knows? I hope he knows Princess doesn't put out, but, that's another story for another time, obviously. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I did hear about the new Rosetta Stone due out. I think in May it's due. Just off the top of my head. Let's see. Of course, while I leave to go start on dinner, I miss someone trying to start. Yeah, let's see, Amy, I wish more alter. Yeah, I think that's all. That's what makes sense. Please stop. YouTubers would do live streams. Oh shit! Why am I brain farting on name right now? Gothic Soulflower. She's been doing live streams on Sundays. I don't know if you are subscribed to her, but she's so sweet. And and she actually was like one of the first people to just openly recommend that video. And the first to leave a comment, so I'm kind of entertained that she had like a little tiny piece in what made me what I am today, which is a giant pain in everybody's ass. But that's okay, it's part of my charm. Let's see, favorite concert? Tough call. Let's see, Penis Flytrap put on an amazing show when I saw them in Las Vegas. Oh, fuck. About 14 years ago. No. 16 years ago, I saw Penis Flytrap in Las Vegas, and that was just such a Las Vegas show, too. They brought out their friends who are go-go dancers and everything, and it was just amazing and wonderful. I would also say Faith and the Muse always put on a great show. The couple of times I've seen them. I've seen Bella Morte every chance I've gotten to, and I care enough to throw the finest $2 panties from the liquor store across the street for Andy at their shows, because I truly care. He's just such a goofball. It's so hard to take him too seriously, and they always put on a great show. But yeah, like, I don't know. So yeah, like, favorite, there's so many concerts that I've just loved. It's hard to pick a favorite, but yeah, I would say if you're gonna twist my arm, it's a tough call between one of those three, because they just put on great shows. Of course, two of those bands don't exist anymore, so if you get a chance to see Bella Morte live, definitely have to. Let's see. Someone I can't read too many names just because of the contrast difference between the chat text is in white, but the name text is in a shade of gray that is just different or close enough in contrast from the darker gray. I don't know. I can barely read it, so only if I recognize your little avatar pics am I going to know who you are. It might say Cheyenne, but I can't read the last name. I'm new to your channel. I really enjoy your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just a loudmouth on a wicker chair who does puzzles, gets covered in cats, and occasionally makes music. So, necromancy. It's an open question. Rosetta Stone have a new album coming out. Oh yeah. Okay, I did see that. Necromancy. We are in Australia. You are a day behind. Our Thursday is your Wednesday. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Something like a 16-hour difference, I think. Amy, I'm sorry you had to take one for the time. There's a lot. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I got the impression from a lot of people who've both commented publicly and privately that I was basically saying what a lot of people had been either personally thinking or at least suspecting for quite some time. And because I have nothing to lose from naming names, of course I do that. And yeah. And yeah, I'm not saying everybody's been sitting on it just because they might lose something out of the actually like naming anybody, but yeah, some people just prefer to conduct themselves with a little bit more dignity than I do. But I was 35 3 years in a row and nobody noticed. Like, nobody at Black Cave Owl Mass Lansing noticed that I was 35 for 3 years in a row. It was my 35th birthday. It was just like, hey, happy birthday. How old are you? 35. 3 years in a row. So at that point, I just kind of ran with it. Up a year, sometimes I go down a year, but I assure you I am actually in my late 30s. That much I know any given time of the day. The rest, I actually have to think about it because, even if you want an honest answer, that's hard for me to think about sometimes just because I know, and I'm trying to think, okay, is somebody that I've given bullshit answers to before and I'm trying to come clean, or is this somebody who does crap and stuff, or is this somebody who actually needs to know how old I am? Like at the doctor's office when they ask for my birthday, or on various other things where they ask for my birthday, I'm just like, hold on a sec, let me do the maths in my head, because I'm just like, oh, why don't you know? Oh, because I mess with people. That's part of my charm. I do jigsaw puzzles, I get covered in cats, and I adjust my age just because I like messing with people. There's this goddamn piece, and it has this bit of blue on it, but I see nowhere that they're supposed to be blue like this. This has been vexing me for days now. Maybe no. So it's got lighting. It's got what looks like could be... Oh, wait, I think I know. I think it's part of this one lady over here who's not all together. But then again, are any of us ever? Alright, that's on this side. And I'm looking for the thing with the stuff, and that's another sign piece. Take one for the time. Anyone else recently discovered the spirit? Oh, oh God, when did I first discover spiritual bad? I was probably in the back of an old propaganda magazine. Necromancy. Oh yes, I have their latest CD at Nowhere Velours, who's probably the one who asked about spiritual bat. I love a lot of Italian goth bands. Oh yeah. Frozen Autumn is probably one of my favorite Italian goth bands. But that's dark wave. Like, hon, when you're as old as me, goth is goth is goth is goth, and it's just look at them. They're goths. Like, you can try and fine-tune a subgenre all you like, but yeah, like look at them. Frozen Autumn are goths. So, someone with a short name. My first goth concert might be Clan of Zymox show in November. Oh yay! Yeah, I think they were rescheduled for Detroit in December, because one of the bands that was supposed to be touring with them in this month, I believe, they were supposed to play Smalls in Detroit. Like, that's still going on, but yeah, they're no longer on the bill, so I think they may be still playing, but in November or December or something. Love their sound. I'm always happy to get new music to listen to. If you want new music to listen to, I also recommend The Bedroom Witch. She's a bit more on the synth-heavy side, if that's what you're into. Obviously, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just went on for about a good 3 minutes justifying why I call Frozen Autumn goth when I have seen people try to argue with me, an old person, that no, that's dark wave. I'm like, honey, just, you know what I'm talking about. Just stop acting like you don't. Just for once, stop acting like you don't understand what I'm talking about. That's all I ask from people. You obviously know what I'm referring to. Like, we can nitpick genres until the sun explodes, and what's that going to do? What's that going to accomplish in the end? Like, seriously. Okay, are the potatoes finally done? Because I was actually I know, this sounds sad in a way, and it sounds like I'm racially stereotyping myself, being all Irish and everything, but it's like, I don't know, I was kind of looking forward to potatoes. I was kind of thinking maybe the potatoes that did not cook last night, I could leave them and try and do it again tonight, especially after all this shit that I've dealt with the dental school. Okay. And I on the skins. Okay. Just like last time, I heard this. Seriously!
So my big question is for everyone, how
Okay, that one's mostly done.
you don't have to necessarily be single to answer this. You can tell me how you met your significant other. If you're alternative.
Okay, that one feels done.
I'd love to hear your stories. How you guys met. If any of you met.
That one's done enough.
Throughout the scene, or did you meet someone outside of the scene? Did you meet someone online?
That one's mostly done.
Let me know. And
Yeah, that's done enough. We're quite right through that.
come to Patreon today if you haven't. Thank you all for your support, liking and sharing, especially with my last video. Also, share my YouTube, like it, subscribe. I'm almost at my goal. I'm getting closer and closer to it.
Okay, and that one's done, and this one can go back. And you know what? That's
So, almost 2K. So, I'm hoping to get there like at least by the end of this month. We'll see. I don't know.
okay. I found enough that are. I found a few that are done enough, and that's all I need right now. And the rest I can cook later, maybe in a steam pot. Okay. Love their sound. Are awesome. COA. Oh, Clan of Zymox are awesome. I hope you can go see them. Oh, that's right. I should, I am so far behind. The year is a quarter. God damn it. I really, really hope that was not a piece. Okay, I found a safety pin. Okay. Seriously? Okay, well, I did not hear it bounce, so I've looked around in that spot where I thought I saw something drop out of the corner of my eye. I'm hoping it's not a puzzle piece. That would drive me nuts. Okay, I'll use this to steady things. If you're wanting something different, maybe... Oh, I love Wendy Rule. Yeah, pagan events in the States. Please. I really love their sound. I might be going by myself, which is kind of nerve-wracking for me, but I've been to goth nights by myself, so it shouldn't be. Oh yeah, I've been to concerts by myself a lot, so look at it in a positive way. You can do whatever, and no friend to tell on you the next day. Ah, shit. Okay, you know what? They're gone. Just
Each morning I would get a repair. Is a lot like when I wake up and I get sober, we make up. That's a lot how this poem reads to be setting up. And there's a line halfway through the poem.
Simon is this many.
I don't remember how it ended. To that point, the only two
Yeah, we could probably stand to have another mod in here. I think Queenie Todd's busy though. Young enough to be annoying and go get some sleep. Nice. You can block him from the chat. Yeah, I just did that. Not sure how to do it on the phone, or at least hide. I don't know if like hide is exactly the same as block, but I hit the timeout function a couple times, hoping he might get bored, but I guess not. Everyone.
and I think that it could serve to further the poem instead of being
Yeah, or maybe she would, cause
sort of
girls got issues that
it's
seriously.
question. If the, so because the line of question, I don't remember how
Okay.
it exactly, leads directly into Bukowski's at least mental dalliance with another woman. We are left to
Yeah, if Queenie Todd shows up later and they know how to
the relationship.
and they know how to block people from the
The crux of the poem
thing,
is a weird problem
that would be great.
that he throws a radio through the window.
Okay.
That line
You act like someone lacking intelligence to understand what a different opinion is. Yeah.
I don't really think I'm in control after I do X. But
It's
why
so not goth of you to
isn't
come
so
trolling
bad?
chats. I can, but I have to do it from my tablet right now because
Which introduces the ambiguity. We are left to assume
I have no guarantee that my laptop is going to have a fully functional keyboard, and I desperately need a new power supply for my desktop.
throw the radio out the window.
Uh,
Feel like if we were even left a little longer to toy with that ambiguity, the clarification of innocence, this could be a great poem.
Great Facebook. Oh yeah, all that shit not working. Yeah, I've dealt with it. I tried to send a couple people some screen caps of yeah. Apparently somebody is claiming that her visa husband was physically abusing her, and crap. And I feel like a couple of the people I've been talking to might want to hear about that. Ah.
Is doing the work of the relationship
Yeah, the primary issues I was having with Facebook was I was unable to hit a like on posts and comments, and then there was the thing with Messenger where I was able to send text messages, but not images. So
I think that ambiguity is not linked. So it just becomes, for me, a good example. That's all I have to talk on for this poem today. Hit the like button if you would. It really helps us out here on the channel.
yeah, this one's done enough.
By chance, for some reason, without having already subscribed. And if you would like to cover some more content,
I do prefer my potatoes cooked until they're a little bit softer than this right now, but it's perfectly done. Oh yeah, I kind of miss those videos too, but everything that I've nobody says exactly the same. We get years behind and lifestyle change. Have you ever had purple potatoes? Oh yeah, yeah. Gotta. You mean the ones with the purple flesh under the skins? I've had those. I made aligot with those one time. That's provincial French version of mashed potatoes that is at least as much cheese as it is potatoes. So he's But I'm really glad that AccuMortars has been posting more of his music up. It's especially that gothic rap parody. That was amazing. And it's not that the whole idea of gothic rap is necessarily unheard of, because gothsicles are a group that exists, but I would more call their music some kind of overlap of industrial music and nerdcore hip-hop, because they do a lot of songs about video games. Many fine goth YouTubers with all kind of different content have barely any followers. Oh yeah. I absolutely agree how disheartening that can be, because who nailed it? So yeah, any more music I would recommend? I would say The Bedroom Witch, definitely. She does a lot. Her music is far more synth pop based. I think I already plugged her earlier tonight. But she's one of those musicians that I get really excited about whenever I see she's got something new out. somebody who immediately gets to take my money. And oh yeah, Corpus Delicti's been around forever. Let's see. If we're going to include older bands, some people might not have necessarily been all that familiar with. Shit. Who was I thinking of literally a second ago? And then I took out the puzzle piece and my thought left me, and we will mourn my thought. Let's see. As far as music that I've been really excited about lately, I'm going to have to be one of many people plugging Her Despair. They're really great. And not just because their singer seems very fond of Murnau in the Instagram posts. And that was just like a little silly thing. I was listening to their one of their albums on while I was having a bath for my back, and Murnau comes up out of nowhere and starts snuggling all over the phone and everything, and well, he was being very interested in my bath to begin with, and it's kind of adorable. It shouldn't be an alien concept to him at this point in his life, but he's always very curious about why I take baths, I guess. But yeah, and I just really quick little clip about how cats find baths disturbing or something, and I tagged the band because sure, why the hell not? I know that at least a couple of the guys in the band are friends of friends to varying people, and yeah, I guess their singers decided that he just loves Murnau, and Murnau is the best name for a cat, and all of that. And I'm not going to argue with any of that, because obviously, if I did not think Murnau was a great name for a cat, I wouldn't have given it to him. And which lady's shoes are these? Probably here. Yes, there. Okay. So then what happens? So yeah, I gotta plug Her Despair, but it's not just because one of the members loves my cat, and that's great. That's awesome. But let's see. I've also really been into Lacey Rose. She is on Bandcamp. I can't remember if it's L-A... No. Yeah, it is L-A-C-Y, Rose, and how it, is typically spelled. She does a lot of voice and piano kind of work. I would call her a bit more neoclassical, though. I'm also really excited about Ols, O-L-S. She's a Polish dark folk kind of musician. She performs in Polish, but she does include English translations with all of her music that she puts out on the Bandcamp as well. And she's also got a YouTube presence, and her music videos are just, there's this one that's adorable, and it's what was the name? I can't remember the name of the song, but the translation, and I'm paraphrasing for the translation here because it is not a language I speak at all, and she's going into like way better language than I would do in a song about the same subject. But the general gist of the lyrics is something like, when humans let me down, my plants will always be there and be my friends. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she is just like so. She's just like so nuts and talented, and there's so much feeling in all of her work. And so, yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about her. Another musician I'm really into right now, she's, I've only noticed her release her music on YouTube, Lacey Blackrose, and that's L-A-C-I-E, Blackrose, I believe, yeah. I know YouTube is often fairly decent about trying to correct spellings about things sometimes when you're doing a search. She puts up a lot of really nice stuff on her YouTube. Obviously, I've been into like neoclassical and dark cabaret a lot more as of late, and if you think that's only tangentially related to gothic music, then you've never heard Christian Death's second and third albums, because it's totally been around since literally the beginning. And the number of people who have cited Leonard Cohen and Nico amongst their many influences, I'm like, come on, it's they've been making goth music since before goth was even goth. So then what happens? Is that a piece? No, of course that doesn't go there. That might make some kind of sense. Ugh! Or at least it would make this puzzle very slightly easier on me and my life. Because this is my life now. I do puzzles, I get covered in cats. Oh, wait, might it be a head? No, of course not. That would... So then what happens? Other music that I've gotten really into. I really love Soror Dolorosa. They're one of my favorite, more traditional gothic rock sounding bands. Who else is really good that I'm into right now? Please be bicycle. No, of course not. That asking my puzzle to be nice to me is just asking to be let down by the world over and over again. But it's... Oh, wait. Is it there? No. No. Let's see. Of course, Sephora Turnus and the Ensemble of Shadows. She is... Oh, I have let's see, one of my friends, when I was introducing their music to this friend, they said, "Oh my gosh, this music is terrifying, but I love it." And that is a great way to sum up Sephora Turnus. Honestly, it's like she just makes all of this weird and wonderful and terrifying music. Very medieval inspired. Somewhere along the continuum of neoclassical and dark pagan music of varying varieties. Because sometimes you just gotta say, yeah, I really don't know what the hell this musician or band is doing. And so, yeah, it's on a continuum of something or other. What exactly is anybody's guess, but I know I like it. And that is... Oh, who else was I summing up like that a while back? Now, of course, that doesn't fit. Wait, no. Okay, so where's this go then? I don't know. Not there for sure. Maybe up here about? No. Why? Or I guess why not? Okay, I'll figure it out. Other people I'm really into right now. I'm back in another one of my periodic moods where I've been reminding myself how much I love Wall of Voodoo. And they are definitely one of those bands that is kind of in a category by themselves. I mean, yeah, if I were to sum up their sound with any like particular kind of genre descriptions, I'd say, yeah, they're a bit of that nebulously indescribable, post-punk or light gothic kind of sound, like Echo and the Bunnymen, but they also pull out sound motifs from spaghetti westerns a lot, and oh, that's right, Michael Moreland, he died. So the band was originally founded by the Moreland brothers, and there's a name, I know his name, Stan Ridgway. And but the Moreland brothers kept it going when Stan Ridgway wanted to do his own thing, and he does a lot of folk and country like music now. It's pretty good for what it is. It's not something that I absolutely am always in the mood for, but I can appreciate decent country. I don't know. As far as like, I know it. There are a lot of people who are just like, oh, I listen to everything but rap and country, and I'm like, and I thought about that, and I'm like, first off, the people who want to point out that there's usually some kind of connotations of classism when people are making those claims, I would have to say, yeah, I don't think you are entirely wrong to say that, because I do see that a lot, and I'm not completely innocent of myself, and I'm innocent of it myself when I've said it in the past. But I do like some country. What I don't like is the so around the mid-90s when I was in high school, they were calling it new country, which is I would say like definitely Shania Twain, probably some Leanne Rimes after her first album. I don't know. I know my stepmother really loved her first album, wasn't entirely fond of her second album. Then again, my stepmother was also a local president of the Billy Ray Cyrus fan club, the, his Achy Breaky Hearts Club. This was a thing. My stepmother was a local president of the Billy Ray Cyrus fan club for Southeast Michigan, so she got to do all kinds of little chores for the band and shit when they would come around, and he was like touring and not like basically living off of managing his daughter. But then what happens? So yeah, I'm not fond of the stuff where it's like more like 90s bubblegum pop music with a country accent. I'm not so much into that. I do like me some Johnny Cash. I do like, honestly, if I'm being really honest, Stevie Nicks has done a lot of music that very much is inspired by traditional country and folk music. So, yeah, I love Stevie Nicks, so I'm not entirely unfond of country, because Stevie Nicks can do no wrong, if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm, oh, right, I was talking about Wall of Voodoo. That's how I got on about country music. And, then what happens? So yeah, like, I'm in another one of my swings that happens at least once every year, where I am just in so much awe of how amazing Wall of Voodoo was, and shall always be, because it's one of those bands that existed while it did. Oh, right, I mentioned the Moreland brothers. Yeah, Michael Moreland, he died. Was he another victim of 2016, or was it early in 2017? I know he died fairly recently, like in the last couple of years. And, but his brother Bruce, who's on Facebook and a couple other avenues as Ravens Moreland, he is still very much an active part of the LA punk, etc. scene. And a lot of people, who grew up in that area consider him an old school death rocker himself, which just goes on. Like, I've got a huge ranty kind of video. It's just going to be one of those things that I post when I'm in the mood about it, about how death rock is not a genre. It is a local term for the Los Angeles centered music scene that came about in the ashes of punks selling out, because you got to remember, like, around like 77, 78, a lot of people doing punk music, or what became associated as punk music, like, like the Stooges and all of that, they were a lot of people very quickly saw that it was suddenly like the in thing, and that's what punk was not supposed to be about. So you had all of these little splinter movements to reinvigorate the underground, and in the Los Angeles area, or at least the Los Angeles centered scene, one of these was called death rock. There was also hardcore punk, which is mostly associated with like the Germs and Darby Crash and the Adolescents, and I know Darby Crash is a member of the Germs, but he did one or two other things. And but yeah, so yeah, like Bruce Moreland, he was more, you know, hanging out with the people in the death rock community. It's just Stan Ridgway was working as a relatively minor music producer at the time, so he had a few more connections, and he also drove the music in a bit more of a pop tinged sound. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, the what was that? Well, you know, the Andy Preboy years with what's that band called that you were just talking about how much you love a second ago? Why am I doing this accent? I don't know, because I might be a little bit nuts. Oh yeah, the Andy Preboy years. Them's really commercial and selling out. I'm like, in some ways yes, in some ways no, and that's also like what Andy Preboy was bringing to it, because he also has a background in punk, and he was also active with the LA death rock scene, you know, that whole community that splintered off from punk. But he's always had very eclectic music tastes, and there's some music that he sent me for the show that I'm just like, what kind of mood would I have to be in to play this? This is amazing. I love it. He's brilliant, but what kind of like themed show would I be in to play this? So yeah, they're one of those bands that has all these influences from so many different places that they're really hard to describe, but a lot of their stuff goes along great with, you know, old school goth nights and, or otherwise quote unquote trad goth nights. There's a lot of their stuff that can easily go a lot. I mean, of course, Mexican radio, that seems to be a staple at, well, then again, I don't think I've heard it at any 80s flashback or retro nights either, because it's one of those songs that is not made for a dance floor. It's made for the radio. I mean, obviously there are some people who will dance to it, but yeah, like they're one of those bands that was just so much doing their own thing that if you were gonna twist my arm to categorize them with any one or two, you know, of the more popular genre terms I see bandied about these days, it's like, I don't know, twist my arm off, just pop it straight off. It's Wall of Voodoo. That's what they play. They play Wall of Voodoo. And then what happens? Oh yeah, they also did, and I'm sure somebody's gonna want to drag me for this when they watch this in the archives. I seriously prefer Wall of Voodoo's cover of what's that called? Ring of Fire. I so prefer Wall of Voodoo's Ring of Fire to Johnny Cash's, or even Social Distortion's. At least what the hell Mike Ness did with Social Distortion after he got out of prison. Because Social Distortion was one of the early death rock bands. And again, find the compilation album Hell Comes to Your House. This is considered like the Bible of the LA death rock scene in its 1980s heyday. And like none of these bands sound alike. In fact, most of them just sound like straight up punk bands, like Superheroines. And Superheroines and who the hell else? I know Superheroines is on that list of just straight up punk bands that just kind of prove my point that death rock is not a genre. It never has been. It never will be. It is a local scene identity, much like French Cold Wave. And people are free to argue with me, but people are also free to be wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's just... okay, I was ranting for a bit, so I'm going to scroll a little bit. Okay. Oh, wow. And there goes the charger cord. Okay. I do not know who started calling goth rap. Let's see. No overlures. Okay, misread. Sorry. And I guess the video was frozen for a bit. Thanks so much. Gonna look in. Okay, I did see that. Okay. Mika, the group with the most influence. Okay. FB Messenger is being annoying. I want to send you my music page. Yeah. YouTube is being annoying right now. Support her. I thought it's soothing. I can see why people would like. She does a lot of music that I would call soothing, but I think he was more talking about her voice. There are a couple goth rock bands from my current city you guys might like. One is Secret. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna. Can I screen cap from here? No. Okay. Oh, I can. Okay, let me do this. There we go. Now I don't have to find a pen to write down the names of bands. Yeah, I find her music so soothing. She's my favorite Nosferatu. And I say that in a respectful tone. Oh, of course. I was introduced to her music from... Oh, yeah. Oh, I missed Tilda Beinhaus's videos. Yeah, they made them all private now and isn't making any new ones. And I'm really... I don't know. They seem to enjoy it, but I guess they decided no more, so... Weird wave. I like that term. Norvillers. Lately, I'm listening to a lot of Hyung Danem and the like. And again, not goth, but so good. Well, I'll check it out. Oh, Bro Country is the worst. Yeah. Catherine Kincaid. It is weird that I don't really love justifying myself through my music. I like old country, Cash, Willie, Passy. Oh, yeah. I kind of like Willie Nelson. He's always like, I don't think that man was ever young. He was always been an old hippie. Always. Like, the man came out looking like that. I have old French singer vinyls remastered from the 30s here. Oh, yeah, like Edith Piaf and yeah, I'm not a big fan of modern country. It's one of the things that sucked about the 90s commercialism of so many music subcultures in order to cash in on it. Oh, yeah. Yep, wish the 80s would have lasted longer. Oh, in fashion, the 80s lasted until 1994. That's just how it is. Like, then Kurt Cobain died, and everybody started wearing flannel for a year, and then somewhere along the night, like around like 96, the 1990s found their own identity as far as clothing went, but let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah, hip-hop was one of the bigger sellouts. I enjoyed a lot of new wave and industrial. Maybe my song after Johnny Cash song, maybe. Cash is solid. He's the man in black. Yes. Totally unrelated, but I love the dragon costume in that old video. Thanks for mentioning it. It looks awesome. I'm not familiar with Shireen Umai, but appreciate a good dragon. Nice. Well, it's just folded fabric with spray paint, but it looks so much like scales in a tail. Oh, nice. I love when those things play. When those things play out that way. It's so simple, but they used to play Mexican radio at my club. Lots of hey, okay.
Like, granted, most of the things on eBay that are sold.
Okay, I thought my toe found a puzzle piece. I really hope that thing that dropped. This is a rendezvous. I do not recall the name. And I'm gonna take off this shawl because I'm suddenly very hot. And that makes no sense. Why did I even attempt that corner? Oh wait, maybe this corner?
And these people do it for views, and the people who have real experiences and are just trying to tell their story either aren't taken seriously or they're kind of just ignored because, this big YouTuber is going to be doing this and that's very exciting and whatnot, and they're going to be doing trying to contact videos with Hitler.
Think maybe.
Like, who cares about this person's paranormal experience?
Oh wait, no, because that's got a little frame around it thereabouts. So no.
Because why would they lie to me? I trust them, and it's just how it is. I don't know, guys. That's just my thoughts on it. I just thought I would kind of rant about that because I've been seeing videos that have just been annoying me recently, and
Huh. Okay, so I was gonna be working on this side here, or the one of the jazz posters.
I'm not totally against them. It's just some of the things that they do really, really irritate me. And kind of need to rant about it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just is what it is. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Wait. This piece doesn't go like that.
Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cindy Gable, and this week it is celebration week here on my channel. Since today, exactly 4 years ago, we are now Sunday the 10th, I recorded my first decent YouTube video with this very own camera I'm recording on right now, and ever since, I've pretty much been making YouTube videos.
Where does this go?
And tomorrow on the 11th, it is also my 12th channel anniversary. Yeah, 4 years ago, this is pretty much how it all started. I didn't really make videos that were consistent since back then I still had a boyfriend and he wasn't really into the YouTubing thing. Hence why I wasn't consistent. As I said, he didn't really understand it. He was kind of...
Hey. How is...
We're at the full bar with our mates. I kind of drinking some interesting flavored beer. I'm pretty sure this one is covering one. And I'm gonna try some. Oh no, sorry, this is blackcurrant one. And we're gonna try blackcurrant one off. Yeah. It's like very medieval, like with some medieval dungeon or something. Yeah, having a good time. Yeah. Well, this is like places today. Gonna post pictures on my page like in 2 weeks time. This is when she's gonna yeah. Well, I'm crazy with my pictures and this is my thing. I think that's so weird. In Old Town, so go check it out. Maybe other people does.
Ah, son of a bitch. Ugh. Dang it. Fuck. Hmm. Uh. God damn it. The stream keeps disconnecting and reconnecting, and I don't know. I'm really warm in here right now, and I'm feeling genuinely frustrated by life in general, and the puzzle is not helping. So I think I'm going to end the stream a bit. Well, I could get caught up on some. Ah. 20 minutes. I do like a lot of earlier electronic music. Jean-Jacques Perry, Pierre-Henry, Morton Subotnick. Son of a bitch. Tech. I come back to this after it is live to get music. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be logging off in a bit. Of course, then again, you said that about 6 minutes ago. The last couple times when I'm live streaming, this is answering Amy. I just loaded a cue from my YouTube subscriptions from the. My Moto E4. Hold down the lower the volume down side of the volume button and the power button. Got a similar setup to the E4. I don't know which model you've got. Yeah, this thing keeps disconnecting, connecting, and like I said, I'm just getting I'm kind of frustrated with life in general right now, and the puzzle isn't helping that.